Hey, badass business owners. Today I want to talk about paying your people what they are worth. Now, listen, I know that there is a lot of controversy and a lot of talking out there about minimum wage. Now, some places are absolutely crazy. It is still $7.25. That's the federal minimum wage. That is crazy. Nobody can live off of that. And there's a lot of talk out there about jumping it up to $15 an hour for the minimum wage. And honestly, in some areas and some locations, that can be absolutely devastating to some business owners. Granted, if you live in a high-end area, San Francisco, New York, and all that other stuff, $15 an hour still isn't going to be enough for you. But when you live in some of the rural areas or smaller towns, that absolutely might be a crazy number for some things. Now, I want to talk about, though, the fact that we do need to do something, and we need to make sure that the people that work for us are paid very fairly, if not above what they get paid with our competitors and for other businesses that they can go to. And you got to keep in mind, the better your team is, the stronger your team is, the more you can charge for your product or services so you can help offset some of those costs. The mistake that I see that people make out there is they cap their people off. They say, hey, the most I can pay people is anywhere between $12 and $16 an hour. But the reality is you can pay your people more than those numbers. Those are just numbers that you've put into your head that all you can do is pay people between $12 and $16. But the key is, how can you help them stick around and want to stick around because they can continue to grow in your business? And what you need to do is figure out, what does that $17 employee look like, that $18 employee look like, that $20 employee look like, or in some cases $30, depending upon the type of business that you do. Now, here's the thing. You've got to be able to make the person be part of that process. So let's just say the most you pay someone is 16 and they come to you and you want to be able to be fair, and you guys want to come up with a plan on how they can get to $17 an hour. So you sit down and have them be part of that conversation of what can they do to help get to that $17 an hour. Well, what they're going to do is go, well, so just ask the question, what would a $17 an hour employee look like? They might go, well, be on time for all the shifts. Well, I kind of expect that out of all of my employees. Well, they would give great customer service. Well, I kind of expect that out of all of my employees. Come on, help me out. What else can I do? And a lot of times what you're going to find through that brainstorming is that they're going to give a little bit more. They're going to fine tune their skills. They're going to, so they're going to take those to the next level. They're going to work on how they can do the job more efficiently and faster, which is ultimately going to save you money because they're better at what it is that they do. So the main thing that you're trying to do is to find ways of, what would that look like? What other bells and whistles can you add to the performance for them to continue to grow and to continue to grow? And the more you make them part of the process of figuring out how they can grow, what kind of leadership they can take on, what kind of other roles, what kind of training things, what are some additional add-ons, if you will, that will help take their wage to that next level. Let's think about a car for a minute. We have cars that are around $35,000 to purchase, all the way to the next level up is probably around $60,000 to $70,000. Well, let's face it, a $35,000 car and a $70,000 car, they both can go from point A to point B. The difference is you're going to get more bells and whistles with the $60,000, $70,000 car, right? You're going to have more luxury. It's going to be quieter. It's going to do all these different things, which is what you're expecting out of a car that's twice as much as the other. But let's face it, there are also cars out there that are $100,000, $200,000. And while there is some of it as prestige and the name and everything else, there's something else that you get why you're willing to spend $100,000, $200,000 on a car. You need to start thinking of your employees the same way. They all go from A to B. They all do the basics of the job. But with each level of a vehicle that you go up, there's more bells and whistles and experience that you're going to get as the driver of that vehicle. So you need to think of your employees the same way. What else can they be giving to be able to go from 12 to 16 and then from 16 to 17 to 18 to $20 an hour? And like I said, you want to continue to do that, because if they get more efficient and they get better at their service and they get better at what it is that they do, guess what? You're giving a premium experience to your customer, in which case it allows you to charge more for it. So you can offset some of that wage gap by being able to charge more of a premium for the team that it is that you have and for the experience that you're able to give. So you have to keep in mind that, yes, you need to run your numbers, but now even some of the smallest efficiencies can make a big difference, because instead of maybe taking 2 hours to be able to do something, your most experienced people on your team can knock it out in an hour and a half, or even an hour, and not cut corners and still give a fantastic experience. That helps to offset it and how to help pay for it. Also, if they step up into larger roles, take more things off of your plate, you gain back time so that you can create more money-making things as well. You're able to work on the business, not just in the business, and that helps you at the end of the day as well. So I just want to change your mindset a little bit on this whole concept of paying people what they're worth. People are worth a lot of money. You want people to stay with you. People stay with a business because they know that their opinion matters, that their boss and that their company loves what it is, values them as an individual, and they can continue to pay and they can continue to grow their family. Because think about it, we want more money because, yes, our lifestyle gets a little bit more with more money, but we also want to be able to invest. We have kids to send to college. There's all kinds of reasons why people want to earn more money. You don't want your employees having to moonlight delivering pizzas. So what you want to be able to do, and in today's crazy world, let's face it, sometimes even $14 an hour, $16 an hour isn't enough to cut what we have. So how can you continue to keep your employees focused on your business and giving it 100%? And how can you continue to raise their value in your business? The key is you've got to figure out, how do you raise that value? How can you separate out the basics of what the expectations are, great customer service, quality, on time, all that stuff, and say, okay, how can you go to that next level? Make that employee be part of the process. If they come to you and they want that 50-cent raise or that dollar raise, sit down, come up with the plan of action together. And this way you both can be on the same page and they know exactly what it is that they want to do. I'm an advocate. Hey, if you can get somebody to $20 an hour, $25 an hour, $50 an hour, but they give you the value, and at the end of the day, you get the sales and profits that you need to get, then heck, pay them whatever they're worth. It is definitely worth it to your business. You just need to make sure that you're constantly running your numbers and that the value that they've given is there. Now, are there some jobs that are going to cap out? Possibly. But what you do is you say, okay, but you kind of move into the next role, or you certify them different ways. So there's level 1, level 2, level 3, kind of like black belt, brown belt, all these different things. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can create some fun around it at the same time. But at the end of the day, pay people what they're worth. Find ways to keep your good people around. Don't let pay be the roadblock to them staying with you. And don't let pay be the reason that they have to go cheat on you with being an Uber driver or something like that. There's ways that you can find out how to help create a win-win situation between your business and them, and what they can do to increase their value within your business. So just get rid of that mindset altogether. There are no caps in your business. It's just a matter of, how do you help your people level up, let them be part of that process and be part of the solution at the same time. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this puppy up. Pay your people what they're worth. They deserve it. It'll be a win-win situation for you both, and I think that you will not be disappointed. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell. It's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.